ground. Back then, I was really exhausted at work, and I wanted to get home as soon as possible. Take a shower, make strong tea, and turn on some movie, under the murmur of which I would fall asleep. Then, the devil pulled me to go along the park road. If only I knew what I was going to face. But then I was too tired, too sorry for myself, and continued to stomp on the slippery stone paving stones of our park to the velvety voice of the reader coming from my headphones. Lately I've been hooked on audio stories. The darkness gradually thickened. The gloomy twilight looked into my face, touched my skin with sticky cold. I didn't have the energy to hurry, so I decided to take advantage of the moment and breathe in the evening coolness. Suddenly, something caught my attention. At first, I didn't even realize that. It was a vague movement somewhere at the edge of vision. Nevertheless, it hit me like an electric shock. I stopped. I looked around. I didn't seem to notice anything special. But, lo and behold, in the distance, where the trees were gradually disappearing into the dense twilight, I saw a figure. It was strange, like a human, but there was something wrong with it. And it wasn't until some time later that I realized what it was. The figure was dancing, and there was something so wild about this dance, something reckless, hopeless, and heartbreakingly funny. It made me shiver involuntarily. The dancer spread his long, thin arms, jumped up, twisted his disproportionately long, skinny legs, spun, and did not freeze for a moment. It was as if some force was making him dance. Selflessly, with anguish. I didn't understand why, but it scared me. I didn't know what it was that struck me so much, but I felt an acute desire to get away, forget this dancer, and never, ever think about him again. The tiredness was gone. It was with difficulty, I must admit, that I tore my gaze away from this blessed one and walked more cheerfully towards the house, falling into deep puddles every now and then, scooping up cold, dirty water with old sneakers. But I didn't care anymore. I just wanted to get out of the park as soon as possible, which now seemed threatening to me. It's like something is looking at me, laughing, amused, sensing my growing fear. I was almost running. My heart was pounding. I calmed down only at home, when I slammed and locked the door of my apartment. It's been about 10 days. During work and other chores, what I saw in the park was forgotten, and I kind of got on with my normal life. But as they say, I was happy early. The second meeting with the dancer, or rather with the dancers, took place on a day off on Saturday. I was standing at the window then, listening to the rustle of rain frolicking in the greenery under my window. I admired the farewell rays of the sun breaking through the clouds. By chance, my gaze slipped into the square under the windows of my apartment, and I went cold. The dancer was there, and more than one. As many as 3 figures were running amok in a wild, frenzied dance right under my windows. I've seen them bend their incredible knees, spin and jump like overdoing ballerinas at a rock concert. And I even thought I heard laughter. Wild, insane, full of pain, grief, and desperate joy. The joy of a victim whose torment is about to break through. I backed away from the window. Either it was my imagination, or through the rustle of the rain, I could still hear the thin, shrill laughter. I didn't sleep well that night. I was suffocated by nightmares. I saw a black earth under a red sky. I saw hunched freaks with long, skinny legs and arms dancing around me. How they laugh, the laughter of madmen drowned in their delirium. I couldn't break out of their circle. And the scariest thing was, I started dancing too. Spinning, bouncing. Despair and horror overwhelmed me so much that they broke through the threshold to which you can still scream, or at least cry, and I could do nothing but laugh. Laugh just like my newfound brothers. I laughed with them. He laughed hard, he laughed desperately, he laughed like a terminally ill man, like a man sentenced to a painful execution. I laughed, and my laughter sounded like the gurgle of someone drowning in a quagmire. I woke up and jumped up abruptly, and the remnants of not a scream bubbled in my throat. No. My throat hurt from the frantic, ragged, choking laughter. It rained often, and along with the rains, they chased me. I tried not to pay attention to them, but there were more and more of them. They were getting closer to me, especially when I was alone. When I was among people, they huddled at a distance where there was no one. It was like they were saying, "Never mind, we'll wait." I stopped eating, I stopped sleeping. I was afraid to leave the house. And one day, I thought I heard a soft giggle and stealthy footsteps in my apartment. My anxiety and fear grew. I couldn't take it anymore. I packed my things, asked my parents for the keys to the cottage, and, under the pretext that I would open the summer cottage season, I left. I was thinking of hiding there, somewhere they won't find me, in my grandmother's old house, where I always felt calm and good. Even then, I thought that my grandmother's spirit would protect me. Back then, I was ready to grab at any straw. But how wrong I was. When I arrived, it started to rain. Panic rose in my throat when I felt that I wasn't alone. My way to the house lay through a field and a wood, and I, praying and swearing at the same time, hurried to the house of salvation. Even through the headphones, I could hear the shrill laughter rising. And then I saw them. The dancers accompanied me. Broken, dark figures, dressed in rags. They glided side by side, neither getting closer nor moving away, spinning and bouncing, waving skinny arms with long, thin fingers. And their laughter hammered into my inflamed brain like nails. I was already running. As he flew into our house, locked himself in with all the bolts. And either it seemed to me, or I really, in the gathering gloom, saw skinny, broken silhouettes flickering outside the window. I realized that I couldn't escape, that they'd get me sooner or later. I can no longer hear anything except the pounding of their feet and hysterical laughter. I'm already starting to laugh at the thought of not being able to escape, and I caught myself moving rhythmically and doing clumsy steps. Through the laughter screeching in my ears, I hear my name being called. Without words, but persistently and tirelessly, "Come to us. Come to us. We're having fun. The fun never ends. I know this is my last day. It's decided. I'll go out to them today. It's probably not that bad. Have fun so heartily. So what's stopping me?"